All right, let's get into the lyrics of the song What You See. Now, on the surface, you might just think, hey, it's a song. But when you really start to listen, you realize it's asking some incredibly deep questions about reality, about perception, and really about our place in the whole universe. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to break it down and really explore the world this song builds.
So the song kicks off with a simple, almost innocent question. But don't let that fool you, because this is the mystery that grabs you from the get-go. See, it's not asking what's above and below, it's asking why. Why is it all set up this way? It's challenging how we see things from the very first line.
And that question just throws us right into the core theme of this whole piece. What even is reality? The lyrics are basically an invitation to second-guess everything you see with your own eyes. It makes you wonder, what if your perception isn't just how you see the world, but the very thing that creates it?
The song immediately throws you into this dreamscape where the normal rules just don't seem to apply. You hear about an endless field of light. You see salt and sky blending into white. All those firm boundaries we rely on, they're just dissolving. Reflections aren't just you looking back. They're hinting that your identity itself is fractured. Even a shadow isn't solid. It slips right through your hands. Right away, you know we're not in Kansas anymore.
So, this all leads to a really fascinating idea. If the physical world is this unstable, this fluid, then what's shaping it? Well, the song seems to point to one thing: our own mind. Is the world we experience actually out there, or is it just a projection of what's going on inside our own heads?
And boom, this line right here, this is the key. This is the heart of the whole idea. It's such a bold claim, right? It just flips our entire understanding of reality upside down. It says the world isn't something we just watch happen, it's something we're actively building, moment by moment.
And that's the takeaway. The song is arguing there is no single objective out there, that we all experience the same way. No! Instead, your individual perception, colored by your memories, your beliefs, your emotions, that perception literally is your reality.
This isn't just some cool poetic idea. It actually has a name in philosophy: subjective reality. It's this wild concept that what's real is fundamentally tied to our own consciousness. And this idea has been around forever, from ancient philosophy to even modern stuff like the simulation hypothesis. The song is really just a beautiful meditation on this very principle.
Okay, so let's check out the chorus, because this is where the idea really starts to build. If our mind is creating our world, then our senses, sight, sound, touch, they're the tools. But what if those tools are kind of faulty? The chorus frames our entire existence as a dance, a beautiful, flowing movement through a world that might just be made of illusions.
This comparison here lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have what our senses are telling us is real. Lines and shapes, a dancer in liquid glass, stuff that seems solid. But then, on the other side, the song pulls back the curtain. Those clear lines, they're just sense-born confusion. That elegant dancer, a mirrored imitation. It's suggesting we're not really awake at all, but kind of dreaming through the static of whatever reality actually is.
Okay, so this begs a huge question, right? If our senses are unreliable, if they're feeding us this world of illusions, then what are we not seeing? What's the real story that we're completely missing out on? What is hiding underneath it all?
And that is exactly where the song takes us next. It suggests that behind all the illusions, underneath this veil that our senses create, there's a deeper, more fundamental structure to everything, almost like an operating system for reality itself. This line is a major turning point. The feeling of the sky, that's just a sensory input. It's part of the illusion. The real thing, the song says, is something much more abstract, something foundational, the code beneath. And what are we in this grand code? Well, we're not solid objects. We're signals in a shifting space. This line just kind of dissolves us, doesn't it? It turns us from flesh and blood into these transient bits of information, flowing through a universe that feels almost digital. And this might be the most beautiful way to put it. It takes that idea of code and signals and just makes it poetic. We're not just random data points, we are narratives, we're patterns of energy, we are stories in vibration. Our very being is information, just resonating through the cosmos. So let's try to pull all of that together. This hidden reality the song is describing, you can't touch it, it's not physical, it's a fundamental code, and we exist inside it as signals or as vibrating stories.
which means the thing that's truly real isn't solid or definite. It's more like a subtle glow, something you can only just barely perceive way beyond what our senses can pick up.
So, after all that, after completely tearing down reality and then rebuilding it as code and vibration, what's the final answer? Well, funny enough, the song doesn't really give us one. Instead, its final message is all about how to live inside all of this beautiful uncertainty.
And here it is, the great paradox at the very heart of the song. Chasing after knowledge doesn't lead you to some final, certain truth. Nope, it just reveals how much you don't know. The deeper you look into how things really work, the more mysterious and awe-inspiring it all becomes.
And you have to listen really closely for this subtle change in the final chorus. The line switches from sense-born confusion to mirrored imitation. And that shift is so important. It's not just that our senses get confused anymore. Now it's that everything we think is true is just a reflection, an echo of a deeper reality that we can never ever see directly.
And this line, this is the ultimate takeaway. This is where the song lands. It's this beautiful, active kind of acceptance. Yeah, our perception is flawed. Sure, we can never be totally certain about what's real. But the answer isn't to give up. The answer is to keep dancing, to live your life fully, to move with grace, even when you're unsure, or maybe because you're unsure. And so, we end up right back where we started, with a question. But this time, the question isn't for the song to answer. It's for you. If what you see isn't the whole story, if life is really this incredible dance through illusions and reflections, then the only thing left to ask is, how will you choose to move?